Hey everyone, time to break down Team Affinity Chapter 3 at MLB the Show 24. In this video, we are going to go through the fast and most effective ways to grind out the new Team Affinity release, which cards you should try and go after, as well as show you my no money spent build featuring the Carlos Santana captain card. Let's get into it. So here is the squad. In my last no money spent video, I talked about how I went out and got this Carlos Santana captain card as he boosts switch hitters. And for someone who this year has struggled against lefties for some reason, I thought, hey, this is kind of perfect. Don't ever have to do that anymore. And he has proven to be one of the best captains and more than likely will be for the duration of the year. Even when we switch over to season 2 and we only get a few wild card spots, you can just bring over Carlos Santana's captain card and boost all the switch hitters you've got for the rest of the year. Now, some of the bigger standouts from Team Affinity 2 and prior content releases, this Jason Dominguez has been fantastic as the Yankees representative from the Chapter 2 for Team Affinity, as well as this new Season Award Jerickson Profar. One of the better releases that we've gotten in terms of free content, again, not having to worry about buying them in packs, is the Season Award Drop 7, which again features this 99 Jerickson Profar. For anyone, regardless if you are doing a switch hitter build, I would recommend getting this done, even if you haven't done the other programs in the past. If you are looking for the fastest way to get these programs done, I made a video on it. The link is down below in the description. It'll take you essentially about an hour, and you really don't have to do anything other than just play against the CPU. Now, while I have been no money spent, I've had to play kind of catch up since the launch month. I missed a lot of it, and with Team Affinity Chapter 3, as well as the new ranked season rewards, they offer a ton of good rewards, especially if you are trying to do the Carlos Santana captain build for switch hitters. Starting off with this new Eduardo Escobar, the Arizona Diamondbacks Team Affinity Chapter 3 card. That should be the first card regardless of who you're going after, other than your favorite player and teams, obviously. It should be the first card that you go and chase after. In my very limited time using this card, just a great swing. And again, with that captain boost, you can see he's got 125 contact versus lefties, 113 against righties, and great power as well. Now, there are a lot of great switch hitter cards that are kind of locked behind the paywall. There's been a lot of season award drops, things like that. Ellie to the Cruz, for example. So I want to talk about my path and what cards I'm going to go after and in what order. So, Eduardo Escobar, let's talk about how I got him very quickly. Because the new Team Affinity Chapter 3 did drop, the first boss that I went after was Eduardo Escobar, but again, 60,000 Team Affinity points is what is going to be required to get that first boss. Now, some of the big changes from Chapter 3 is they really made it way more difficult to grind out quickly to get to your first boss at 60,000. No longer are you really able to play against the CPU or play however you want, especially if you're an offline player, because they separated these repeatable missions into different modes. So, for example, if you were going to grind the CPU, essentially now the only way to get rewards is to get 30 hits against the CPU or 30 strikeouts. Now, you can go into 9-inning game and play on rookie, but you're not going to get 30 strikeouts in one whole game, and 30 hits is going to take you quite a long time. And on top of that, you're only getting 2,500 Team Affinity points. So a pretty big nerf to offline players, which is super frustrating because it was the fastest and most effective way to grind through Team Affinity. Now, the other missions are still pretty palatable. So Conquest, you can grind out 20 hits, but it's only going to get you 2,500 Team Affinity points, and then you can get 3 saves. So that's essentially capturing 3 strongholds will only get you 5,000. And then mini seasons. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but for 15 hits in mini seasons, you'll get 2,500 Team Affinity points, but 5,000 for every 2 saves. So one less than what you would need in Conquest. Now, I'm going to talk through this as if you are an extremely casual player. So we're going to assume that you can't do the Extreme Showdown. It is very difficult for the very casual player. I would say anyone that can't get 700 rating in ranked seasons, you are probably going to struggle with the Extreme Showdown quite a bit. The player exchanges, these are really meant for the players that either grind the market, and there is a very effective way on Showzone to spend a bunch of time, and you can get this done for pretty cheap. Or if you buy a lot of packs and have a lot of stubs, you can go through this as well. But as someone who's trying to complete the live series collection, and again, I'm just trying to play as if you are a casual player, this really isn't of great value to you. Which means you've got 2 options. Try and hammer home some of the single-player missions, or go at it via multiplayer. So let's talk about how I was able to get Eduardo Escobar very quickly. The first thing I would do is I would complete the Team Affinity Chapter 3 Conquest at least one time. The reason being is that you can get a headliner pack. It's just worth it to do it at least once just to get all the packs that are hidden throughout. You can rush to get that done, that's fine, but I would recommend at least doing it once, and while you're here, you might as well work towards the NL West. Again, go after the cards that you want first, but if you're looking for the best cards to go after, I would definitely recommend Eduardo Escobar first. So what I did was I played through the Team Affinity Conquest once, but what you want to do is load up on the NL West bosses. So from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 from Team Affinity, you want to use those bosses in your lineup. So for the NL West, you've got Webb, Blackman, Turner, Gwynn, Crawford, Drew Jones, Delander, Jansen, Myers, Davis, Escobar, Crone, Sheffield, Renfroe, and Wilson, who are the newer ones. So you want to make sure that every single hitter is in your lineup and that you're using Delander or Webb as your pitcher so that while you're doing Conquest, you are working towards this repeatable mission. And again, even if you're playing on Rookie, you're going to get this done. On top of that, because they are all in the NL West, you are going to work towards the 7,500 that you get from just using any NL West players as well. You're double dipping. So while you do Chapter 3's Team Affinity, I was able to get this a few times. On top of that, you will get vouchers that will work towards getting the 60,000. Now, you're going to need to do a little bit more to actually get to 60,000. This is what I recommend. Again, this is going to depend on your skill level. I am someone that's around 800 in terms of ranked season ranking. I'm not in World Series or anything like that, so I'm not a great player. It took me 7 games, essentially, to get Eduardo Escobar, and all you've got to do is, again, just load your lineup with as many Team Affinity Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 bosses as you can. So, again, just using cards that are going to work towards the division that you were trying to. It's righty on lefty. The event makes it a little bit easier for players that even aren't that great at the game to kind of succeed and get these missions done. Taking a look at the multiplayer missions, again, you just need 8 innings pitched, so 3 games will get you 9,000 Team Affinity points. Scoring 10 runs will net you 5,000. 15 extra base hits will hit you 5 as well. And then just 10 strikeouts, that's going to get you another 10,000 Team Affinity points. I'm someone that, if you're going to grind, it's got to be somewhat enjoyable. I love playing online, and it was very easy with this current event that is going on. If you are not trying to min-max and everything like that, because of the change to the CPU grind, where playing against the CPU had a big benefit in terms of grinding through Team Affinity, go through the events to try and get this done as fast as possible, and it, again, took me about 7 games total. So because I am trying to make a switch hitter build, I got Eduardo Escobar, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm going after next and in the order I'm doing it. Well, next up is the AL East. I am a diehard Red Sox fan, and Wade Boggs, with max contact from both sides of the plate, pretty weak power, but still, a pretty decent card for anyone that's trying to get into Hall of Fame or Legend because of that max contact rating. Brian Roberts is going to be the card that I'm grinding for next. He's a switch hitter, he's got great contact, and I can almost max out his contact with the Santana Captain boost against lefties. He's also got a great clutch rating and can play second base, so this is who I'm going after next, and I'm going to be doing the exact same method that I was doing, and again, that's just by playing events, working towards getting that finished, and just using an AL East lineup with most of the Team Affinity bosses, or at least all of the ones that I can from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in the AL East. Now, once I've got Eduardo Escobar, we got Jurickson Profar from the program drop. We're going to get Brian Roberts here, which is great. 399 switch hitters that will go perfectly with this Carlos Santana Captain build. Well, after that, if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that even as a Red Sox fan, I have to admit Jorge Posada has one of the best swings in the game. He's a switch hitting catcher. There's just something about him. I was using his 84 overall gold card still in my lineup, and he's great. And they went and dropped his 99 finest version. Perfect 125 from both sides of the plate. A switch hitting catcher, great power, 120 clutch. This is definitely the card that I'm grinding for next. Now, again, as someone who is not a World Series player, it is going to take me quite some time because I'm going to have to do all of the missions and essentially wait for the second drop in the ranked season program, but that is what I am going to work towards next. I'm going to get it as quick as I possibly can because once this ranked program ends in 26 days, Season 2 will kick off, and we're only going to be able to bring over a few wildcard spots from Season 1, and I'm curious to see how that actually plays out. Lastly, the big focus of, especially this weekend at the time of this recording of this video, I'm only at 700,000 XP. Again, I missed a lot of the first month of the game, but it is double XP weekend, and I'm grinding events to try and get as much XP as I possibly can, because getting Jimmy Rollins before this ends is of the utmost importance for the switch hitter build team, and that is really going to complete it. There are some other cards that I want to go after, but they are going to be behind a paywall. Now, an update for you. As you know, if you've been following my No Money Spent series, I've been working towards the live series collection, and again, completely no money spent. I haven't been grinding on the market even. I was able to finish the American League. We got Rafael Rafael Palmeiro, not really going to use him, but I am trying to get this finished before Season 2 begins, because when Season 2 kicks off, there will be some wild cards that you're able to bring from Season 1, so 99s, for example, but the core cards are going to be pretty important early on. That is one of the benefits of completing the Live Series collection. If you are able to get the 99 Babe Ruth, you are going to have a 99 when everything resets back to like the high 80s, and that's just a massive bonus, especially if you're someone that isn't going to spend money on the game. So we are working towards getting that finished. I've got Ronald Acuna. Really, everything I've got finished. It's just Mookie and Shohei. If you are trying to complete the Live Series collection, I would recommend saving up for the big dog in whatever league you are going to do. Don't spread it all out. Finish one league at a time. So I'm going to save up, 140,000 stubs, get Shohei, and then work towards Mookie. Everything else, I'm in pretty good shape. I've got most of the National League in terms of expensive players, so that is where I'm going to put my focus in terms of my subs. Now let's talk about mini seasons, because that is where I believe a lot of the players should put their focus, especially if you are an offline grinder, if you're not someone who plays a ton of online, or you're not able to succeed well. It can get pretty frustrating when you're trying to grind out Team Affinity stuff because you're not using your full lineup. So what you want to do is the Team Affinity Season 1 mini season. And again, much like what I mentioned, as you can see here, this is the majority of my NL West lineup. I'm going to do it for the AL East to try and get Brian Roberts. So why the mini seasons is, in my opinion, the most effective currently is because for every 2 saves, you are going to get a pretty big chunk. Now, all you've got to do is keep the game within 3 runs and close it out with a reliever from the AL East or whatever division you're doing, and you're going to get a pretty big bonus to the Team Affinity there. On top of that, while you're doing it, you are completing vouchers. You can do this on Rookie. It is going to take a lot of time, but it allows you to stack the most amount of things while grinding. So just by playing the game and winning, you are going to get a number of packs as well as XP, and more importantly, the vouchers for finishing it off and even just making the playoffs, for example. But what you want to keep in mind is these first 2. So hits with any AL East player is going to get you 2,500. You're going to get 15 hits pretty quickly if you play on Rookie, which I'd recommend you do if you are trying to do it in the easiest way possible. But it's the 5,000 for 2 saves. Now, there is a 28-game season. If you want to play them all out, that means you can get 14 saves. 14 times 5,000 Team Affinity points is 70,000, but you're already going to be well into the first boss by then. Once you've gotten your bosses, make sure you add them to your lineup, and you're going to get another 10,000 Team Affinity points very quickly by just getting 10 bases with any of these cards. The pitchers only need a few strikeouts as well. Very easy to do, especially in mini seasons. So that is what I'd recommend you do. And again, you're stacking the parallel XP by loading up on the bosses from Team Affinity 1 and Team Affinity 2. Now, if you notice, I've got 10% for every Team Affinity program, and that is because, well, I went into the Extreme Showdown. And like I mentioned, I'm not a World Series player. So for the rest of this video, I want to show you guys why, as someone who mains another sports game, why this game can be so fun and rewarding. Hope you guys enjoy. 3 runs on Legend. Let's do it. Hype me up, boys. Let's go. Yeah, Carrie Wood, you ugly mother. I'm coming right for that 400 feet to dead center, brother. All right, here we go. We are going to 2 strikes every single at bat so that even if I get down near the end, if I'm still in it, we're going to try and, drain his energy. With 30 outs, we should at least do that. 102 with Outlier. Dude. Let's go. Okay. Now, I gotta bunt, no? Like, a double play in this is gonna just absolutely... I can't take Wade Boggs out either. Yeah, I wouldn't bunt either. I can't take Wade Boggs out now. How many outs? 27. I'm so amped up. That was it. Dude. No. Wait, what the f***? I didn't do that! Oh, that's it, boys. I didn't send him. Oh, man, you gotta be kidding me. That's probably the game, man. Wow. I mean, hey, we'll take it. That's a walk. I missed it, dude. Oh, my God, bro. That's kind of big. That's kind of big. Let's go! Now we do it again. Now we do it again. Now we do it again. Hit the horn. Now we do it again. Now we do it again. It's not over yet. We got 12 outs. We need 1 run. Let's f***ing go, man. I have to bunt here. Like, I have to bunt here, no? Chili Davis has 70 speed. I don't have any... Oh, I have Andre Dawson. Andre Dawson goes in. Please get there. Please get there. Please get there. Walking me is actually the worst. A double play ends it. The issue is I haven't hit the ball. Like, I just haven't even been able to get contact on it. I'm just going to take the 2 strikes, see what happens. No, we got this. Let's go. Let's go! A. Oh, we send it deep to left. I love this game.